and there is no shortcut way to civil service examination. Indian civil service is the most prestigious examination and most sought after job of the country. Every youngster who graduates, he thinks of this job. How to go for Indian civil service examination? These are qualifying papers. If you do not qualify in these two papers, your rest of the 7 papers will not be evaluated. Career counseling for the Indian youth. A very good afternoon. I am Dr. Partha Sarathi Mishra. I am an IAS by profession. Friends, today we are going to start a series of lectures on different career options under a broad heading called Career Counseling for the Indian Youth. So friends, today is a beginning, and the first topic of the series is called How to Go for Indian Civil Service Examination. Friends, as all of you know that every Indian who graduates or post-graduates aspires to be in Indian civil service. Indian civil service is the premium service. It is the number 1 service or examination of the country. Normally every student's dream is to be an IAS officer or an IPS officer or to be an allied officer, and everybody wants to be in the helm of affairs, being an IAS or IPS or allied officer. So friends, today we are going to speak on how to prepare and go about the examination called Indian Civil Service Examination. Indian Civil Service Examination is a combined, this examination is conducted for a combined of jobs. ICS actually consists of IAS, Indian Administrative Service, or IPS, or a bunch of allied services which are Group A services. For example, you can be in the Indian Revenue Service, you can be in the Indian Audit and Account Service, or you can be in the Indian Railway Service, or in the Indian Postal Service, or many such Group 1, Central Government Group 1, Class 1 services you can be inducted into by this examination. Indian Civil Service Examination is conducted annually. It is annually conducted an examination. It is conducted by UPSC. The Union Public Service Commission, it conducts the examination every year. It is an annual affair, and it has broadly 3 parts. The examination is broadly divided into 3 parts. The first is called that is called Indian Civil Service Aptitude Test, or the preliminary examination, and the second is called the main examination. The third part is called the personality test. So friends, today when we think of the going for this exam, first of all let us talk about who can go for this examination. What is the basic eligibility criteria to appear the Indian Civil Service Examination? Here let me tell you, first of all, any graduate is eligible to appear in the Civil Service Examination. Any graduate, well, just a graduate also can go for examination. There is no specific mark basis for which you can go for the exam. Every graduate is eligible to go for the exam, and any graduate in any discipline. It has to be recognized by the UGC, and it has to be confirmed by the Indian university system that you are a graduate. First of all, there is no percentage bar. Any graduate is eligible. Secondly, you must have completed 21 years of age, and you can appear up to the age of 32 years. There are 3 criteria here. The general candidates, they can appear from attending 21 years of age to 32 years of age. This is for the general candidates. With 6 attempts they can give. And for the OBC candidates, the age limit is from 21 years to 35 years with 9 attempts. And for the SC/ST candidates, the criteria is from 21 years to 37 years. So this is basically, there are 3 criteria that once you plan for the exam, you always feel whether you are eligible or not. Now let us come to the examination pattern. How this examination has been designed. How can one go for the exam? This examination divided in 3 parts, as I told you earlier. The first part is called the civil service aptitude test or the preliminary test. Preliminary test is essentially divided into two papers. It is only general studies. Remember that preliminary examination consists of only general studies, and each paper is of 200 marks of 2 hours, and it is a multiple choice objective question. So the preliminary test is essentially based on general studies papers, paper 1 and paper 2. Each paper consists of 200 marks, and this is consists of 2 hours time, and it is an objective type with multiple choices answers you have, then you choose one. This is the prelims pattern. Once you clear the prelims, then you go for the main examination, and normally between the prelims, publication of the prelims result and the conduct of the main examination, there is always a 3 months time. So you get 3 months time to prepare for the main examination. The main examination consists of 9 papers, out of which 2 papers are qualifying papers, 1 MIL you have to take, and 1 in general English you have to take. So MIL and English are the 2 important papers you have to qualify. If you do not qualify in English or in MIL you can choose any of the languages in the Indian Constitution Schedule 8, you can choose any of them and you can appear. The fact is that these are qualifying papers. If you do not qualify in these 2 papers, your rest of the 7 papers will not be evaluated. Let it be very clear to you. Out of the next 7 papers, 1 paper is called essay writing, that is also very important, that is a 250 marks, and then you have 4 general studies paper. Each general studies paper consists of 250 marks, and basically these are all subjective type answers you have to give. And each general studies paper, right from Indian history to Indian polity, Indian economy, Indian constitution, then a paper on integrity, ethics, and a paper on your aptitude test. The 4 papers are designed in such a fashion that each paper consists of 250 marks, and each paper covers either Indian history, world history, or Indian geography, world geography, it is economy, contemporary affairs, all this, anything comes under the general studies broad gamut of thing. Under that umbrella of general studies, the 4 papers are divided. Then you have to choose one optional, and it will have 2 papers. Supposing your parent subject is political science, you can opt for political science, but there is no bar if you can go for sociology or psychology or any subject. Anybody can choose any subject and can appear. For example, one arts graduate can only opt for the art subjects, but a science graduate or engineering graduate, as a doctor, he can take any subject of his choice. So there is no bar on any subject you choose for your optional paper, which consists of two papers. One paper is 250 marks and the other paper is also 250 marks. So if you look at the entire format of the main examination, we find that 2 qualifying papers, one paper consists of English, the other is the MIL, the other paper, 4 papers are your general studies, and 2 papers are your optional subjects. After this main examination is over, it takes at least 2 months time to the result will be published. Once the result is declared, then those who qualify, they will go for the personality test, which is 275 marks. So basically this is the pattern of the examination. I told about the eligibility, I talk about the pattern of examination and how this is to be done. Normally what happens, the examination starts in the month of June and the results published in the next June. So it is a yearly affair. In my next session, I will tell you in detail about each paper, how to prepare about it, what books you have to study. Those are the details we have to talk. This is in a nutshell how to go about it. Last but not the least, friends, I'll tell you that Indian civil service is the most prestigious examination and most sought after job of the country. Every youngster who graduates, he thinks of this job. Who doesn't want to be an IAS officer or IPS officer to serve the country? So you can serve the country in a real manner if you wish to join this service. And when I spoke about all the things, you must have noticed that the most important thing about this examination is that this is general studies centric. because prelims you have only general studies, and in the main examination also you have 4 paper general studies. So your English needs to be good, your general study has to be strong. These are the 2 fundamental criteria you have to focus on. And there is no shortcut way to civil service examination. Civil service examination is important examination. It needs rigorous preparation, proper planning. You have to make a plan, you have to prepare, you have to do it in such a way that you can make success. It is the passion, the determination, and eventually the achievement. That's what makes you a civil servant. Thank you.